Hello, my name is Miguel Mata, and this is the This Way Out podcast, a component of the This Way Out project. This podcast is where I take a few minutes to try and offer some words of encouragement, attempt to inspire and hopefully motivate people as they start their day, where I address a few topics that can be especially challenging for some people, but hopefully in a way that speaks to the humanity in each of us. Most of all, it's my attempt at being a constant source for positive messages in a time where such a thing can be somewhat difficult to find. Good morning. It's Thursday, January 16th, 2020. Hello, podcast listeners. I'm so glad you decided to tune in today. I hope that you're having a good morning so far. All is well in my neck of the woods, eagerly anticipating the start of the next semester. I don't think I've mentioned it before, but I'm attending the College of Charleston here in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm trying to earn a teaching degree in elementary education. After raising my own kids in public schools over the last 20 years or so, it's pretty evident that there's a need for educators. And I'm going to try to do my part to get in the classroom and be a positive role model for young, impressionable minds. One of the things behind my role modelness, if that's not a word, I just made it one, is my calling to prove to anyone and everyone that good people are still present in the world. Maybe that sounds silly to some of you listening right now, but maybe it doesn't. I mean, by now you're probably well aware of the mission I've set for myself, proving that there is still plenty of good in the world, with the hopes of creating or moving toward creating a better world. But we'll get into that more in a little while. Our kids, by the way, they need to see firsthand what good looks like, right? There's no judgment here. I, too, grew up in a household where there were high levels of tension and angst brought about by the issues possessed by grown-ups. There was lots of arguing, yelling, swearing, and drinking, and physical violence, and it all impacted my psyche and the psyches of the others I grew up with. And now, in our adult years, us kids have each handled those childhood experiences differently, some not so well. Anyway, what I'm saying is that kids need a space where none of that is present. They need a place where they can be allowed to be carefree children as the good Lord and nature intended. Too many times over the last few years, I've seen kids in the presence of negative and angry grown-ups who obviously were acting out their own personal issues in their behavior. Both parents and teachers, by the way. Not to mention the fact that many of our kids are just as exposed to the ugliness of the world because the internet is everywhere and easy to access. It's a level of information overload that I believe their small minds were never meant to be able to process and make sense of. Making sense of the ugly parts of the world for children has always been the job of grown-ups. However, it seems us grown-ups are just as distracted by the ugly parts as well, and that means overexposure for our kids. So all that being said, in my class, I hope to create an environment specifically made for learning, having fun, and free of what I call the trash of society. And I'm not necessarily talking about people. Well, not just people. I'm talking about all that trashy nonsense that can weigh on a kid's mind, preventing them from being a kid. Last point, by the way, on the kids' exposure thing. Until recently, I never realized yelling or raising my voice impacted young ones, at least not to the point of traumatic damage. I grew up around raised voices, so I thought it was normal. However, I've learned that's not exactly true, and now I'm working to heal the psychological wounds I created through years of yelling at my kids and learning just how much damage a yelling adult can cause. Now, I'll cover this subject in more detail in a future episode, but the happy ending here is that I learned and got help for an underlying anger issue, and life is much better now at home. Much better. So if you are raising your voice, quote unquote, at your kids at home, not all of them may be impacted negatively, but there is a possibility that it could be creating a problem for one of them. And if you're in the business of making the world a better place, just like I am, then it's high time we all realize that our kids, our younger generations, are a big part of our world's overall healing. That's my personal That's my personal lesson, I mean to say, that I'm going to pass along to you today. More to come, though, as I said, in a future episode. Okay, so let's get back into the good space. The point of all that talk was this: kids deserve a safe space free of anger and negativity and judgment to be able to grow and learn. And I've learned over the years, I want to be able to, or from what I've learned over the years, I want to be able to provide that exact space for my future students. I want to share with them, just like with you, good listeners, that there's plenty of good in the world, that there are no evil powers, no evil doers out to ensure your demise. In fact, it's the opposite. There are many individuals and organizations that exist in our country and our world today that want to see people succeed and live a life free of fear and anxiety. And I'm one of them. I want to see them succeed. I want to see you succeed, podcast listener. And there are lots of people succeeding despite their previous challenges, and they are all documented in the interviews that I've conducted as a part of this project, by the way. A single mother raising her child, a former EMS tech struggling with PTSD who continues to face the world head on despite his disorder, a recovering aneurysm survivor who continuously proves doctors wrong by learning to stand and walk again, and also who later became a 3-time Special Olympics gold medalist. These stories are a microscopic sample of the great things and good people that exist in our world. They're not celebrities, they're not politicians or CEOs, they're ordinary people, just like you and me. Now let me say this one last thing. In order to continue moving the needle toward the positive, we can't exist in a place where the poor treatment of others is acceptable, and this includes yourself. Now before anyone gets the chance to get spun up and stand on their soapbox, hold on, wait. Do not use this opportunity in your mind to lift your political sword and shield and start fighting the good fight for whatever cause you stand for. Please don't do that. What I am suggesting to you, my listeners, is that if you witness or experience discrimination, harassment, bigotry, and so on, then do not be a bystander. If you see or hear something, say something, even if it's a behavior or comment made by your closest friends and family. Let me say that again. Even if it's a behavior or comment made by your closest friends and family. This is the only way change is going to happen. In order to create a better world for everyone, we must stand for what is right, and that takes courage. I know this sounds like a lot, or it sounds a lot like what we witness on social media and our news feeds already, but this is where it is different. If you see it on your feed, then put it in the back of your mind and continue about your day. But if you witness it yourself, then you act. Physical violence is not required, but your words are, and you would be surprised how effective your words can be when advocating for someone who is being mistreated. Okay, so this episode is already running a little longer, but I just want to make it clear. In order to create the kind of world we can all be proud of, a world where we can exist in harmony, then we have to start today. And we have to start with our young people. We have to protect them from our own personal issues and create safe spaces for them to learn and grow, free of fear and discrimination. It's up to us, the grown-ups, to be the grown-ups and have the courage to absorb the abuse of the outside world and create messages for our children they can appreciate at their level of understanding, to be the shields of our children, not to coddle them. I'm not saying to coddle our kids. Basically, be the grown-up. Protect the child. They're not capable of taking on the full brunt of the ugly outside world, so let's not allow them to do that, okay? We have to hold ourselves accountable, grown-ups, for our words and our actions. Get help for ongoing issues you might be experiencing and break the cycle created for you when you were young. This will ensure your kids have a better chance of success in the future because of improved mental health. Finally, this project is about trying to address the problems of the world as they happen right before our eyes. This does not mean ignore the problems of the world. Absolutely not. What this means is control what you have the best chance of controlling. If you see something wrong happening, advocate for the good. Step in when you witness discrimination, bullying, bigotry, etc. All those things that remove the humanity from someone. Take courage and say something in the moment that it happens. For a lot of people, confrontation is uncomfortable and not practical, but neither is being someone who is being bullied or discriminated against. Creating a better world for ourselves is going to take some work, and it's going to take each of us to make it work. But I believe it to be possible, as long as we're all willing to make it so. So who's ready to make a difference and change things for the better? It's never too soon, and it's never too late. Have a great day, everyone. Talk to you again on Monday. This has been the This Way Out podcast, a part of the This Way Out project. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to hear future episodes, please subscribe. If you would like to get in touch with me to recommend future topics, provide feedback, or any other reason, you can comment on the episode or send me an email at thiswo.light@gmail.com. That's thiswo.light@gmail.com. If you're interested in the other aspects of the This Way Out project, be sure to visit my website at thiswo-light.com.